Okay, so in this video, I've got the pleasure of introducing to you a wonderful exercise that Lena and I have had a lot of fun engaging with over the last 3 years in our relationship, and we've really found it beneficial for us in many ways. And it really relates to this idea, this sense, this practice of role-playing. So for many of you, when we think of role-playing in relationships, you might think about sex and role-plays, but that's not what we're talking about in this video, although that would be a wonderful thing to experiment within your own sexual relationship with your partner. But when I'm talking about role-playing here, I'm talking about using role-plays in the context of a difficult or challenging situation, particularly after you've had some conflict or argument where something's gone wrong in the sense of your communication with your partner, you've fallen out and it was like, what just happened there? It all just went really downhill. And then there can be a sense of, well, how do you resolve that? How do you look at that? How do you even know what just happened? Especially from the other person's point of view, but even from your own point of view, sometimes we don't have this 100% insight into our own being. We don't know what's triggering us from the depths of our unconscious. So looking at the situation from the point of view of a role play can be really useful. So when I'm talking about role play, I'm talking about replaying the situation, doing a role play of the situation, and you begin to take on different roles within the role play itself. For example, one way you can do a role play after a conflict, and I should say it's probably best just to leave some time after the argument or the conflict to allow the emotions to settle a bit before you come back and do the role play. But when you do come back after, say, an hour or 30 minutes, however long it takes for you both just to settle a little bit, then playing out the role play, a really nice thing to do would be just to swap roles. So you play your partner and she plays you, and then you play out how you perceived their behavior in just a really raw way. For example, if your mind was telling you at the time that their behavior was very childish or selfish, or any of these things are really sort of unreasonable, then just play that out when you're playing your partner, and then this can give your partner an insight into both how you see her behavior, how her partner sees her behavior, but also maybe a little bit about how her behavior just actually is, and she wasn't aware of that in the conflict of the situation. So you play out how you perceived their behavior, and she can also play out how she perceived your behavior. Maybe she felt that you were very remote or very judgmental or very angry or just moody, and then that can give you an insight into how they're perceiving your behavior as well. So that's one way to do role playing. So you've had a conflict, you've had an argument, you've fallen out about something, then you replay the situation, swapping roles. So you play how you perceive their behavior, and they play how they perceived your behavior, and it can be a really good insight, and it can help you to stand in each other's shoes more, to have a sense of how the other person's experiencing reality, and just getting us outside our fixed sense of how things are. It can be really, really helpful. Just a general thing about all of these little role-play exercises that I'm offering here, it probably will mean you going out of your comfort zone. And many of you will think, this is theatre, this is creative, this isn't part of my world. But do play with it, even if it's just small little things, just dipping your toes in this kind of water can just help you. It's not about being on the stage. No one's watching, it's just you in a safe space with your partner. But it will take a bit of going out of your comfort zone often to engage in these sort of exercises, but do it because it does work, and I've had a lot of fun over the years doing these exercises. So a second way to do a role play is to play out how maybe you would have liked the other partner to act. Not how they did act, but how you would have liked your partner to have acted in that situation. So you kind of play the ideal version. You play your sense of how you would have liked her to behave. So you play out how she would have liked you to behave. She plays out how you would have liked her to behave in that ideal situation, and playing it out in that way can help to dissolve some of the emotions, and there can be a sense of, yes, that's how I would have liked to have been met in that situation. That's how we can communicate effectively. Let's try and carry some of those qualities forward in our communication. An ideal version. So maybe the ideal version can be less critical, more loving, can make the other person feel seen, recognized. All of the things that we talk about in this course to do with having a loving, conscious relationship. So that's one way to do it. So you've got the first exercise, just playing it out. The second exercise of playing out the ideal version. The first exercise of just swapping roles. So they're just two simple ways to do a role-playing exercise. Now the third way that I'm going to offer for you in this video is if the emotions are just too strong and you just don't know how to express anything and you've just got all this stuff bubbling up. Now this exercise may not be for everyone, but we love doing it, and what we do is we replay the situation, but almost just like imagining that there were an animal or something. If you're really angry, just get it out, become the roaring lion in the situation, just shout, you roar like a lion, and maybe how they felt in the situation was like a wounded antelope or something. You're the roaring lion, they're the wounded antelope, and you play that out cathartically, theatrically, in this exercise, and I'm just getting kind of engaged just thinking about it. It's really, really powerful exercise to do it. You play it out and it can help to release all of these emotions, because having conscious relationships isn't an easy thing to do. Communicating effectively, lovingly isn't always an easy thing to do. So sometimes just getting it out in a sort of animalistic way can help to dissolve and lessen all of this sort of emotional torment that can be going on within us. So that's just three ways of doing a role play exercise. The third way, playing out animalistically, pretending to be different animals in the situation to replay the situation, or just how you feel in the situation. The second way, playing out the ideal version, how you would have both liked the other person to behave in that situation, and hopefully that's something that you're also comfortable with going forward. And also simply just swapping roles. It's a really good way just to get inside the other person's shoes. So that's just a few short sort of snippet into the way of conflict resolution. I mean, it is conflict revolution, but revolution of conflict here. But we're just playing with these things. Do play with them. It might just be baby steps, especially if one of your partners, or if you're not so into these creative modes of expression. But do allow yourself to go out of your comfort zone. I think you'll find it an amazing and rewarding practice. And Lena and I definitely have, over the years, found it an amazing practice to do. As ever, if you're enjoying this course, do please consider leaving a review. It helps to bring more people into the course and bring more benefits, or everyone out there that's kind of grappling with these things about how to be in a conscious, loving relationship.